Yes, what's happening is on Capital XTRA evenings. Now, I'm back with another UK artist. We're talking a singer, we're talking a dancer, we're talking a fashion icon. Yeah, we're talking a pop star visionary. All of the above. Bree Runway is in the building. Yeah. I like that. Bree, how you doing today? You good?
I'm doing really good. Even better to be here.
Nice, man. You're looking swaggerlicious.
Purr.
You're styling on us. You're on a level. How big's your wardrobe?
Oh, I have wardrobes.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly a big thing, and I clock it in your music as well. Like, the fashion is there.
Oh, yeah. Lives in me.
Where do you draw that inspiration from?
When you're just that girl, you're just that girl.
Damn.
You know? You don't need to look for it. It just is right here.
Tell them. Guys, honestly, listen, before we get into the music and the Homegrown Track of the week itself, just to get into a bit about you, what's been your journey into music? Was it something that you were always creative with at school, or is it only something which you've jumped into later on in life?
To be honest, I feel like I've always had a good relationship with music. Probably the only thing I've always cared about in school when it came to picking subjects and just things that in my spare time I would find myself immersing myself in fake concerts in my bedroom, and I was always a performer at home but in secret. And then one day we planned to do a concert for a few aunties and a few of the mums and stuff, and then I sang and everyone was like, what the hell?
So everyone was just like, yo.
Yeah. Everyone was like, wow. And I remember I was holding my hands oh my God, I hope I'm doing this right. And everyone was like, no, you're so good. You're so good. And then I just continued just picking it in school. And I'd always stay behind at school to try and figure out how to make beats and stuff like that. And then I bought a studio setup for £200. It may be 2015, 2014.
Wow.
And I just started recording in my bedroom. And I really, really fell in love with writing and music even more. I was like, I want to do this, but I was always too scared.
These times there, what could you get for £200? What was the setup?
To be honest, the whole thing. I still have the
Did you have the original setup?
I still have the sound card.
Wow.
I still record from that sound card. I still have the very wobbly mic stand. It's really ghetto. I need to change it. Come,
that.
darling, please change.
Yo, but that's something for the documentary.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And I have so much footage in that old bedroom of mine and that wobbly mic stand.
All right, listen, you need to sell that on eBay or something.
I will. Probably be worth
infamous-
£20,000 one day.
That's more than that.
Yeah.
Bunk that up.
Yeah.
Talking 200. Add a couple zeros on that.
200,000 million.
What would you say for the kids like yourself? Because you seem to find that at a later stage of growing up in school. But for the people that seem to be quite introverted at school, but then they have this capacity to be creative, and it's hard for them to unlock it, what would your advice to them be?
I would say there's no perfect moment and there's no perfect time for you to unlock it. You kind of need to move your mind into a very delusional state that I'm good at this. You may or may not be, but most of the times you actually are good at it, and it's just the thoughts that kind of set you back. But you need to try and get out of your own head, and faking it until you make it is a very, very real and very key thing.
Right.
There was a point where, because of how I was wired growing up and the things that were thrown at me growing up, I had this shield. Well, I can dress, but they can call me ugly, but at least I can dress. And I was like, that's come from you being told that and that being thrown at you. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm not pretty, at least I can dress and blah, blah, blah. But the gag was, I was always pretty.
Yes. Yo, it's something
It was all in my head because everyone was throwing it at me. Jealous.
True, though. It's something which is... Because when you say fake it till you make it, it's not being a false version of yourself and being inauthentic. And that's where a couple people would be like, well, what do you mean?
No.
But it's live how you see yourself.
Yeah. Respect yourself.
Respect yourself.
Yeah.
Truth. Listen, let's get back to this week's Homegrown Track of the Week.
Yeah.
Pick Your Poison. Came off the project which you dropped, Well, What a Blur. Before we talk about the track, that project itself, the themes, love, heartbreak, mental health, is something which we've taken from it. What was your intention behind setting this whole project up?
What a question.
Come on,
So, Whoa, What a Blur was indeed a blur to wrap up. The plan was to always give everyone
say that again. Whoa, what a blur.
Was indeed a blur to wrap up.
Wow.
I'm a lyricist. What can I say?
Wow. Go on, carry on.
It just lives. No, I'm joking. It was a blur to wrap up because I was coming off of the back of a very, very just suddenly busy multiple fashion weeks in different cities. And then it was like, oh yeah, by the way, you know the EP, we still got to do that. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember. And some of it is done, but some of it's not. So I wrapped it up in like 8 days.
Wow.
I was living under a quilt with an SM7 mic, just like record. It was like a hot box.
Is this the OG mic that you got back in the day?
This was the new OG. The old one wouldn't make the cut.
Yo, so wait, 8 days.
8 days, yeah.
So some people
new
are spending
harmonies, new bars, new this. I just locked myself in the house and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote.
Wow. Did you ever come to like any creative blocks just being in there for like 8 days?
I came to something. Don't know what it was.
How did you break through?
I think I just needed to stayed focused.
Yeah.
I stayed focused and I was like, the more I stick at this, the less everyone's going to talk to me about where it is and what's going on with it. I just wanted to get out of the place where my WhatsApp was full with question marks about the music.
Yo, phone off.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
8 days.
Yeah.
Bree under a blanket.
Yeah. I just locked in. I just really locked in and really just focused. Like the one thing I did do for myself, like in those 8 days, was just wake up and make sure my hair was nice. Mm-hmm. So at least I felt like a little bit.
Yeah, at least you feel like yourself.
You know what I mean?
And then it reflects on the bars as well.
You
Once
know
your
what
hair
I mean?
did
Like
all
you feel
good.
a little bit fly,
bit
fly. So I had to do that. That was the one thing I did for myself. And then I just focused. I really focused and got it over the line. And I'm really grateful, actually. I was talking to God this morning and I was like, do you know what? I'm actually really happy with how the music's being received.
Yes.
Because when I was making it, I was obviously like frustrated. I was like, oh my God, I want this to be perfect. There's such little time, blah, blah, blah. But I'm really happy. For me, my brother calling me and FaceTiming me and being like, you needed to pick up. I'm listening. I haven't moved past track 1. This is mad. Wow. I'm like, I think I ate that actually because he's kind of like my biggest supporter and hater. And so it's great.
When you're writing this EP, are you thinking about how it's going to be received, or is this for you?
No, it's always for me. Yeah. For me, I'm like, if I like it, then whoever likes it likes it.
If you want to dig it, you dig it. If you don't,
if you don't, you don't. But I have to like it. I have to get it into that Bree sweet spot. And if it doesn't reach there, well, it never has not reached there. I always push until it gets there.
The Bree sweet spot. Which brings us on to the Homegrown Track of the Week. Yeah, Pick Your Poison, featuring Stormzy as well. What was the process of getting Stormzy on the feature? Because the man can sing now. Yeah. So were you just like, I like your voice. Let's do a little something here.
It was actually vice versa. He likes my voice.
Wow.
Yeah. He came up. We were hanging out at Coachella. We had a really, really good time. A group of us, like we just randomly bumped into each other, and it just became a thing. And he said that there's this song that he feels that my voice would be really beautiful on. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, let me hear it. And he was like, I'm going to send it to you. So I was like, you better send it to me. I want to hear it. Then I think I texted him the next day. I was like, I really want to hear this song. I was so curious. I was like, what's going to be the vibe? Like, what would Bree and Stormzy sound like? Then he sent it to me and I was like, I'm going to get on it. I'm going to go to the studio. I'm going to make this work. And I laid my voice on it and he was just like, I knew it. This sounds so good. So good. And then we went back into the studio again and did some fine tuning, deciding between like 2 verses and stuff like that, normal music processes.
Right.
And now we're here.
And now it's Homegrown Track of the Week, boy. Yeah. I can imagine your voice now, like, you better send me that. But look, it's happened and it's sounding amazing. We've been messing with it all week. Look, you're performing at the O2 Kentish Town in 2023.
Yeah.
Are you gassed for it?
Gassed is an understatement.
So give me one adjective to describe how you're feeling about that. Go.
Manic.
Oh! She's feeling manic.
Manic.
Yeah, man. It's going to be sick. What's it like performing in front of like the real OG fans?
Oh my God, it's too special. Like they give me they activate something different in me that I don't even know exists until I watch back.
Yeah. Is it a feeling or is it like an emotion? Like,
it's a feeling. I just feel so powerful. Like I feel so powerful on stage and I just want to give them everything I've got. Like everything I've got. I was like, you have me here and I'm not going to waste your time or money, baby.
It's mad, you know, because the process of you in your duvet, yeah, all this, like, all the emotions that you probably feel making the EP and the projects and the tracks, to being on stage and letting people receive it in the flesh, is magic.
No, it's the best
Literally
feeling
magic.
ever.
That's
Like,
powerful.
my purpose is always like, there's a refresh button on my purpose and my mental health and my brain and my level of feeling alive. As soon as I go on stage, I'm like, this is what this is for.
And then you performed in front of like icons like Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Was that mad for you as well?
That was scary as hell.
What would you thinking that she was going to judge you in that?
No, I just like wasn't seasoned enough in the performing department. I just knew how to sing. Although I killed it, but I was just too scared. My anxiety, those times, it's just now I've got to a place where my fake it till I make it is like ace.
Yes.
But back then, I was petrified.
Do you like make eye contact? How does it roll?
I didn't make
like,
eye
I'm not really
contact.
trying to look at. I'm not trying to look at her.
When I came out, I just gave her a side eye and she smiled at me. I was like, huh. I just turned my face. I was like, great. I'm not looking at her for the rest of the thing. Great.
Yeah. My eye contact is.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on myself. Right, Bree. Before we go, what is 2023 looking like? Obviously, this year the hits have been coming in. Can you drop us some gems?
I think in 2023, you need to be prepared to see and feel Bree in a way you haven't before. And I'm actually, aside from my show, I'm going to be supporting Lizzo across Europe.
Oh! Yo! You heard that here, people. This is happening. Capital XTRA Evenings. Bree, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
Big up
you
yourself,
for having me.